Right now, a lot is happening behind the scenes with this team, and it seems a big decision is coming. The draft is approaching, and the front office needs to decide which direction they really want to take. Will they focus on adding another weapon to make the offense even more dangerous? Or will they strengthen the foundation and build from the inside out? These are the kinds of choices that can shape an entire season. As fans, we all want the same thing, a team that competes at the highest level and truly fights for the championship. And sometimes that means taking a bold step, while other times it means sticking with what has always worked. This draft could say a lot about the team's identity going forward. If you're excited about what's to come and truly believe in this team, don't forget to like and leave a comment below telling me which direction you think they should take. That's right, another wide receiver linked to Baltimore. Kiper's reasoning is pretty clear. The Ravens are expected to bounce back in 2026, but they need a true outside receiver who can soak up targets from Lamar Jackson. He points out that drafting Tyson would allow Zay Flowers to operate primarily in the slot, where he's at his best, elevating the entire offense. Tyson caught 8 touchdown passes in 2025, and at 6'2" with strong hands and excellent contested catch ability, he fits the mold of a physical, reliable outside target. And when you look deeper at the situation, the argument becomes even more interesting. Rashad Bateman has been inconsistent. DeAndre Hopkins, Isaiah Likely, and Tylan Wallace are all set to hit free agency. That's potentially a significant shakeup in the pass-catching group. If those departures happen, suddenly wide receiver becomes more than just a luxury, it becomes a need. Now let's talk about Jordan Tyson as a player. In 2025, he put up 711 receiving yards, averaged 11.7 yards per catch, scored 8 touchdowns, and, this is huge, had just 1 drop. That's a massive improvement from 2024 when he had 7 drops. The growth and reliability is real. He's shown he can clean up his game. He has the frame. He has the strength. He has the route running ability. He looks natural at the position. There's a smoothness to how he moves that makes it look effortless. His contested catch ability stands out week after week. He makes acrobatic grabs, wins in traffic, and plays bigger than defenders. He's versatile enough to line up outside or in the slot, and you can motion him across formations. There's real flexibility there for Todd Monken's offense. But it's not all perfect. The biggest red flag with Tyson is durability. He missed the entire 2023 season due to an ACL, MCL, and PCL injury. In 2025, he dealt with a hamstring injury and missed time. He's also had collarbone issues in the past. That's a lot for a young receiver. Availability matters in the NFL, especially for a team with championship aspirations. There are also technical concerns. Against bigger corners and press coverage, he can struggle with his release. At times, he rushes routes and loses patience. Those are coachable issues, but they're real. And for a Ravens team that has historically prioritized the trenches in the first round, it raises the question, would Eric DeCosta actually pull the trigger here? Because if we know one thing about DeCosta, it's that he values draft capital. He has openly talked about loving to trade back. More picks mean more chances to hit. It's a philosophy that goes back to Ozzie Newsome's era. So while Tyson might be the best player available at 14, there's a very real possibility Baltimore looks at the board and says, we can move down 4 or 5 spots, pick up an extra third-rounder, and still get our guy. That brings us to another scenario gaining traction. The Ravens trading down into the late teens or early 20s and targeting the trenches. 2 names stand out. One is Vega Ain, offensive guard out of Penn State. He's viewed as plug and play. Draft him at 14, he starts. Draft him at 20, he starts. Simple as that. With Andrew Voorhees and Daniel Falale no longer in the picture, there's room and need on the interior offensive line. Ain isn't flawless. He can struggle in space, which is something Ravens fans have seen before from interior linemen. But overall, he's a promising, physical presence who could solidify protection for Lamar Jackson. The other name is Caden McDonald, defensive tackle out of Ohio State. If you're looking for a run stuffer, this is your guy. Over his final 2 seasons, he played 30 games, totaled over 80 tackles, and recorded 10.5 tackles for loss. He's not primarily a pass rush interior disruptor, but he's dominant against the run. And for Baltimore, stopping the run has always been foundational. An interior defender who can control gaps and anchor the line fits the Ravens' identity perfectly. So here we are. At pick 14, if the board falls exactly the way Kiper projects, the Ravens could take a high upside wide receiver in Jordan Tyson. Or they could stick to their traditional philosophy, trade back, and fortify the trenches with someone like Vega Ain or Caden McDonald. It's a fascinating crossroads for this franchise. Do you go with the explosive weapon who could elevate the passing game immediately and give Lamar Jackson a true outside threat? Or do you reinforce the foundation, protect your quarterback, and strengthen the run defense? And this is where things get really interesting for Baltimore. Because if you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, this isn't just about Jordan Tyson versus a guard or a defensive tackle. This is about identity. This is about what the Ravens want to be in 2026. Mel Kiper's projection of Jordan Tyson at 14 signals something bold. It suggests Baltimore might finally lean fully into maximizing the passing game around Lamar Jackson. And let's be honest, when you look at what Tyson brings to the table, it's not hard to imagine him thriving in this offense. A 6'2" receiver with strong hands, improved ball security, 8 touchdowns in 2025, and the ability to win contested catches? That's the kind of profile that fits perfectly when you need someone to line up outside and command attention from opposing secondaries. If Zay Flowers is freed up to dominate in the slot, that opens up spacing across the entire field. It forces defenses to make choices. Do you bracket Tyson on the outside? Do you respect Flowers underneath? And if Rashad Bateman continues to search for consistency, Tyson could very quickly become one of Lamar's most trusted targets. But here's the counterargument that keeps echoing inside the building. Championships are won in the trenches. Eric DeCosta has made it clear over the years that he values picks. He values volume. He understands that the draft is, in his own words, a luck-driven process. The more darts you throw, the more likely you are to hit. So if Baltimore sits at 14 and sees multiple players graded similarly, history tells us they'll at least explore trade-back opportunities. And imagine this scenario. The Ravens slide back to pick 19 or 20. They pick up an extra third-round selection. Suddenly, they still land Vega Ain, the plug-and-play guard from Penn State. A player who steps in immediately, fortifies the interior offensive line, and protects Lamar Jackson from day one. With Andrew Voorhees and Daniel Falale no longer in the picture, that interior stability becomes critical. Ain may not be perfect in space, but his physicality and readiness make him incredibly appealing. Or maybe it's Caden McDonald. And if you've watched Baltimore football long enough, you know how much this franchise values stopping the run. McDonald's production over his final 2 seasons at Ohio State speaks volumes. Over 30 games, more than 80 total tackles, 10.5 tackles for loss, and a reputation as an elite run defender. He's the type of interior force who can anchor your defensive front for years. He may not rack up double-digit sacks, but he'll collapse pockets and plug lanes, exactly what this defense thrives on. So now we're staring at 3 very different paths. Path 1, stay at 14 and take Jordan Tyson. Bet on talent, bet on upside. Potentially draft the best wide receiver in the class and transform the offense overnight. Path 2, trade back and reinforce the offensive line with Vega Ain. Protect your franchise quarterback and maintain offensive balance. Path 3, trade back and strengthen the defensive interior with Caden McDonald. Double down on physicality and defensive identity. What makes this decision so compelling is that none of these options would be shocking. None of them would feel reckless. They each align with different philosophies within the same organization. And let's not forget something important. Last year, a lot of people questioned the Malachi Starks projection. They wondered if it made sense. And yet, it happened. So when Mel Kiper connects Baltimore to a specific player repeatedly, it's not something to dismiss lightly. Jordan Tyson has the tools. He has the frame. He has the production. He cleaned up his drop issues dramatically. Yes, the injury history is concerning. ACL, MCL, PCL, hamstring, collarbone, those aren't minor notes. But if the medicals check out and the Ravens staff feels confident, the upside could be enormous. At the same time, trading back feels almost inevitable when you consider DeCosta's philosophy. More picks, more swings, more chances to hit on impact players in a deep draft. So now it comes down to this. What direction signals the Ravens are truly all in for 2026? Is it giving Lamar Jackson another elite weapon? Is it rebuilding the trenches to dominate physically? Or is it trusting that value will fall if they're patient? We're going to keep breaking this down as draft season moves forward, because this is shaping up to be one of the most pivotal first-round decisions in recent years for Baltimore. But I want to hear from you now. If you had full control of that draft card at pick 14, are you staying put for Jordan Tyson, or are you moving back and targeting Vega Ain or Caden McDonald? And which move do you believe gives the Ravens the best chance to make a deep playoff run in 2026?